Shutter Speed, episode 17. Back in 2019, I attended Photoshop. Before this COVID thing happened, we could go and attend seminars and conferences in person. And I sat in one session that will change the way I do business in my Instagram forever. It was in Kaylee Greer and Sam Haddock's class on social media and how to take your social media to the next level and really blast off. So I've taken what I learned in that class and also from my own experience using Instagram, I've put some things into place. And today I've got 6 Instagram strategies to grow your photography business.
Do you love photography? Are you somebody that wants more out of your photography, to make money from your photography, but don't know how to start? Welcome to Shutter Speed. Your host, Peter Spakowski, will guide you with tips, strategies, interviews, and know-how to start making money to pay for date night, new gear, or start a full-time career with your passion of photography. Let's get this show started. Here's your host, Peter Spakowski.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Shutter Speed. My name is Peter Spakowski, and I am your host. Today, I've got 6 tips on how to improve your Instagram feeds, how to improve your business in Instagram to put money in your pocket. But first, if this is your first time attending, I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining me today. I've got some really good information to help anybody take their photography passion, their hobby, their love of photography, and start making money from it. Photography's cheap, right? And everybody gets into it because it's so cheap. And I joke about that all the time because that is totally not true. And we could always use some extra income to buy new gear. So it doesn't matter if you want to pay for date night, buy new gear, or make photography your full-time passion. This is a podcast for you. Maybe it's not for you, but maybe you know somebody that is a great photographer and would love to make money from photography. Send this podcast to them. Tell them about this podcast. This is a free podcast. The only thing that I ask is that you tell somebody about it. Our podcast is growing. Downloads are growing each and every month, and it has everything to do with you telling your friends and telling others about this podcast. So thank you for joining me here today. If you want to check out more, go to my website at 2mmacademy.com. Sign up for my email list, and I'll send you a free brochure on how to start making money in photography by the weekend. I want to also invite you to ask questions. I've got another episode coming up here soon, and it's another Q&A session. Last week, we had some really good questions. If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to that. My favorite one of the favorite ones I've had of all time is, if you could only buy one lens, what would that lens be? It's a complicated question, but I pretty much knew about it after I thought for about 2 seconds. I narrowed it down to 2 lenses, really. But if I had to do it, I would narrow it down to one lens if I could only pick one lens. If you want to find out what that one lens is, go back and listen to last week, episode 16. But today we're talking about 6 Instagram strategies to grow your photography business. My photography has been all over the board. I've loved doing headshots. I've loved doing bodybuilding. I love taking pictures of cars. I love traveling and taking pictures. I love stock photography. I love portraits. That pretty much sums up the type of photography I love. But what do I want to focus on? What do I want to focus on and generate income from? When I looked at my Instagram feed, you really couldn't tell. And it took until I sat in a class with Kaylee Greer and Sam Haddock's that I really figured out I need to modify my Instagram. Websites are great. Websites are great at drawing people in, getting attention, but they don't get their attention like they used to. Same thing with Facebook. Facebook, the number of users is constantly going down, and that's less people to see your work. You can still generate some great business from websites, from Facebook. Don't know what you can use Twitter for photography. The only thing I use Twitter for is to announce my podcast. But I don't do anything with my photography business on Twitter, and I don't really know a whole lot of people that use Twitter at all. Maybe just a couple. But I've developed a strategy, and a lot of it comes out of that class that I attended in Photoshop. And I'm going to cover 6 of the things that I do in my Instagram feed based on that class, but then also based on information and feedback that I get from people. People that come to my Instagram feed and they see my feed, they reach out to me and they comment on what I'm doing in my Instagram feed. I don't do it as much as I need to. I need to get on Instagram more. I need to put my work out there more. But these 6 strategies are great, and it's great at drawing business in. Instagram will be one of the best resources for you for drawing in business into your photography. I've done episodes in the past on like integrating Linktree and things like that into your Instagram feed. But these are 6 strategies that you can do daily. And these strategies work, and they're great. They will get you feedback. They will get you followers. And most of all, they will get you paying customers. You need to have a link to your Instagram feed on your website, on your Facebook page, on your business card. Put an Instagram link in those platforms. That's where people are going to go to see your work. People update their Instagram more frequently than they update their websites. You need to be updating your websites every single month, but your Google business, your Instagram feed, your Facebook, LinkedIn, 500px, wherever it is that you use for social media, you need to be out there and you need to be active, and you need to implement these strategies. This strategy is great for Instagram. You can use it for Facebook. You can use it for LinkedIn. You can use it for 500px. These strategies work, and they will get you more business. So without further ado, let's talk about the 6 Instagram strategies to grow your photography business. The first one, this is going to be a hard one because I don't know a whole lot of photographers that actually do this, or when I mention it to them, they don't want to do it. And sometimes I go to Instagram, and this is what happened to me. Kaylee Greer took my phone. She went through my Instagram feed, and she said, well, what kind of photographer are you? And when I look at other photographers, I think the same thing. What kind of photographer are you? Your Instagram feed needs to highlight the type of photographer that you are. You want to know what I'm talking about? Go to Dog Breath Photography on Instagram. Go to Lindsay Adler Instagram. If you browse their Instagram feed, you're going to know exactly what type of photographer they are. You need to curate your photo feed, not your stories, your photo feed. And it needs to be smooth when you scroll up or down. You need to highlight the type of photographer you are. Only use pictures to promote your business. I'm a headshot photographer primarily. If you go to my Instagram feed and you scroll up on my Instagram feed, you're going to know I'm a headshot photographer. And you know what your headshot's going to look like if you come to me to get your headshot done. Kaylee Greer is a dog photographer. You're going to know exactly what type of picture of your pet if she takes a picture of them. You're just going to know. It is there. You want to have those pictures that promote your business. Same thing if in whatever career you're in. If you're in an entrepreneur, self-business career, you need to use your Instagram feed highlighting what type of business you are. These strategies aren't just used for photographers. These strategies are used to grow any business. I've consulted and helped entrepreneurs for dozens of years. And I tell them the same thing. You need to curate your photo feed. If you're a travel photographer, only put travel pictures in your photography feed. If you're an animal photographer, only put pictures of your animals in your feed. If you're an automobile photographer, only put the pictures of automobiles in your feed. This is very important. This is the number one step. This one and the last one, or the last two, I should say, are probably the best strategies that you can do with Instagram. If you own a car wash, only put pictures of clean cars or of muddy cars and then clean cars going through your car wash. Same thing with leadership. If you're in leadership, put pictures of you being a leader in your Instagram feed. This is your picture feed. Number 2, anything other than your pictures of your photography that you want to highlight. And again, if you do 5 different types of photography, pick one. Pick one that is your primary source of photography. If you have more, create multiple Instagram accounts. That's easy, right? If you want to post personal stuff in your Instagram feed, create a personal account. But for your business needs to have an Instagram, and it needs to have a feed that flows with what type of business, what type of pictures, what type of photographer are you? Anything else, put in your stories. You can put videos in your stories. You can put pictures of your family in your stories. You can put your hobbies in your stories. Make you real. Make you a real person. Advertise your pictures and then use the stories to promote you as a person. I can tell by going through an Instagram feed of the pictures what type of photographer you are. I should be able to go into the stories and see what type of person you are. Are you somebody that I'm going to be intimidated by, or are you somebody that I'm going to be comfortable with? You know, if you put a bunch of hate, crime, and hate stories out there, people might love your work, but then when they go to your stories, you might scare them and you'll scare them away. Put things that will make them attracted to you and trust you as a photographer. If you've got things that are really cool that you've done, or some stories that you really love, highlight them. They won't go away. They'll stay in your feed, and you can highlight them or put them in your reels. I'm not even going to talk about reels on here because I don't use reels. So I'm not even going to talk about that on here, but reels should be used just like your stories, but those will never go away. So whatever you put out there, remember that they will never go away. Even if you delete them, they're still out there and you can still find them. But put things in your stories and put things in your reels that's going to promote you as a person and what type of person you are. Number 3, use a hashtag generator. A hashtag generator will help you generate common or popular hashtags. I use hashtag expert. I don't get paid from them. I don't get any kickbacks from them. That's just what I use. I have paid for their annual subscription. It's pretty dirt cheap. And if I just get one customer based on hashtags that it represents, it way more pays for itself. It is cheap and it is great. What you can do is, if you're a travel photographer and maybe you went to Rome, you can put in 3 hashtags: photographer, travel, Rome, and it will generate hashtags for you. It will generate the most common hashtags. If I'm a headshot photographer, I could put corporate headshots, and it will generate a list of common hashtags that people are using, that people are clicking on, that people are seeing and searching for. But a hashtag generator will help attract people by suggesting common and popular hashtags for you. Maybe some hashtags are trending right now and you want to get on that wave, get on some trending hashtags and have people find your work because of the hashtag that you use. People will use hashtags to find things that are interesting. I use the hashtag generator for my podcast, for my Instagram feed, for my LinkedIn stories that I put out there. I love using a hashtag generator because I find myself, when I try to create them myself, I find myself being very repetitive and maybe even putting hashtags that don't work. I don't know. I'm just guessing and hashtags that I would search on. Maybe I'm the only person that would ever search on that word for that type of picture. But if you use a hashtag generator, you can put automobile photographer, automobile portraits, and it will generate a list of hashtags for you to post with your Instagram picture and hopefully attract more customers. Again, we want to attract customers. We want to have people find your pictures and hire you as a photographer. That's what this whole podcast is about attracting customers and getting paying customers in front of your camera that you can make money. Doesn't matter if you own a studio, in your house, outside, at banquets, wherever you're taking pictures, post those pictures in your Instagram feed and use hashtags. Same things with stories. You can't use as many hashtags in your stories. You can, but it clutters up your stories. So only put ones that are really important and really highlights the type of work that you're doing. Number 4 goes along with the hashtag generator. There's been studies on what is the optimal number of hashtags to use in Instagram. This is a couple years old, but based on me going out and trying to research it myself and try and find companies that have researched this, it pretty much stays consistent and the number stays within 1 anyways. But the number of hashtags to use, the optimal number of hashtags to use is 11. Not 9, not 5, not 50, which I've seen some people out there just go hashtag crazy. That pretty much dilutes your search results and the type of person that you're looking for or the type of person that you want to come to your Instagram. Putting 50 hashtags out there is not going to work, but you can narrow it down to 11. Pick 11 yourself once in a while. Remember, you want to always have a hashtag for your photography business, whether it's your name or a business that you've created, or maybe it's a business that you used one of my previous podcasts on naming your photography business. But you want to only use 11 hashtags. 11 hashtags are the optimal number of hashtags to use on any given picture. It works. And trust me, Kaylee Greer, this is one of the suggestions that she brought up in that class. And she said her number of results went way up. You know, not only do you want to have hashtags, but you also want to include stories. You want to write a story about each of the pictures. And that is number 5. Number 5 is write context that highlights your picture. Maybe create a story. Maybe if you're a travel photographer and you have a beautiful beach picture, maybe you want to tell a story about the picture, about how nice the walk was on the beach, and you captured this moment. And you remember it, and it totally changed your mindset. It made you a positive feeling. What a great, glorious sunset this was made by God, right? You can create a story that goes along with the picture. Models do that all the time. One area that I see people write stories all the time when they post pictures are models. And some of these stories are about the type of person that they are or the feelings that they had in a given point of their life, or how beautiful this picture made them feel. Write a story. Write 1 or 2 paragraphs before you hashtag the heck out of it, and write a story that's going to attract somebody. Story or Instagram pictures that have stories to them provide so much more detail for search engines to pick up on, for people to search on. Not only will it search on hashtags, but when you write a story, maybe there's something in that story that triggered a comment, that triggered for it to show up in somebody else's feed. Maybe somebody does a bookmark on a hashtag or keywords when they, subscribe in their feed, and maybe you trigger that and it pops up in their feed. And maybe it's somebody in your area and they want to hire you as a photographer, or maybe it's a publisher of a magazine that's searching Instagram and finds your picture and wants to send you to Europe or send you to Brazil or send you some beautiful place to go and take pictures based on your Instagram stories. So include stories in your Instagram feeds. It will only help your search results. It will only help attract that type of customer that you really want to attract. Number 6, it's kind of a 2-part story. It's kind of 2 parts. So this is really a 7-tip strategy, but number 6 is post pictures in groups of 3. This is where I get the most feedback, where I get the most comments. Post pictures in sets of 3. It's eye appealing. When you see 3 pictures go across the grid on Instagram feed, if somebody goes and looks at all your pictures, it's 3 across. If you have, I'm a headshot photographer. I have 3 different types of pictures of the same person going across my feed. Maybe one that they're looking serious or sensual. Maybe one where they're just laughing, or maybe another one where it's just a hint of a smile, or maybe some just really goofball picture that people will never use that's kind of funny that gets people's attention. But when you post in groups of 3, it's eye appealing. It shows that, hey, I didn't only just get one good picture of this person, or I didn't get one good picture of this scene. I got 3. Why did I get 3? Because I'm a darn good photographer and I know what I'm doing. I can capture multiple good pictures of you. I am not just posting the lucky shot that I got of somebody and post it on Instagram. You want to have pictures that show you know what you're doing, and putting them in groups of 3 works out great. Here's another thing, another tip in this group of 3 that I really like to do. I like to put my best picture last because it shows up on the left. If you're in the United States, we read left to right. So you look at pictures left to right. And if you have the best one there as your last one, people look at that. The second one I post is a small picture of them, or maybe no picture of them, with their review comments. Maybe they said, oh, Pete did a fantastic job. Best picture of my life. 5-star. I'm going to post that on there so people can see the comment that the person made. And they also gave me a 5-star review. And then the very first picture that I post is one that will, have the person smile that's looking at my Instagram feed. So it's either going to be one where the person's smiling or where they're giving a goofy face. But that's kind of what I like to do. I like to post the very first picture that I post is the last one that they'll see. And it's one that is a friendly or a funny picture. The second one I post is a review of that person that they gave me as a photographer. And then the last picture I post is the best picture I got of that person. The other thing that I like to do is maybe I don't post a review, but I got a lot of really good pictures of this person or this client or this subject, whatever the subject, whether it's a scene or something, an automobile. I'll create one image that has 4 images, 4 blocked images. Maybe it's a travel photographer. Maybe it's a travel picture that I would post, or I suggest people post, where you have 2 pictures on top of each other. One on the top, so it's a nice wide picture, and the one below is a nice wide picture. There's so much that you can do to give variation, but the important thing is have 3 common pictures or 3 pictures of the same person, so it's appealing to the eye. It's eye-catching. People go and look, and they like to see all the different pictures of each person. That's going to get way more attention than just posting one picture of a person. Trust me, people will want to see 3. People will get attention, or your pictures will get attention when they see 3 across that are the same person or the same area. Trust me on this one. This one is so important. If you only implement one of these tips in your Instagram, make it this one. You will get comments. People will comment on you posting 3 pictures across and getting their attention. And when you post, you don't want to post more than once a day. This is the bonus tip. You only want to post once a day, no more. And if you can post every single day, post every single day. Otherwise, just do it once a week. And each week you get a new set of pictures. This is one area that I need to improve on. I don't spend a whole lot of time posting on Instagram, and I need to, but post no more than once a day. When you post 3 pictures, post them 1 minute apart from each other. Don't post one in the morning, don't post one in the afternoon, and don't post one in the evening. When you do that, people that visit your feed throughout the day, your pictures become unsorted. Remember, we want 3 pictures across every single row, or at least every other row, or every 3 rows have 3 pictures alike. Maybe you have pictures where you don't have 3 good pictures of the subject. Post one of those, but post them with 2 other ones where you don't have good pictures of those subjects to post. And then post 3 of somebody that you do have 3 great pictures, but only post once a day. And you want to have all 3 pictures posted within a minute of each other. And you can do that by scheduling posts, right? You don't have to go in there and type it up and hurry up and type it up and put it out there. You can schedule them. And when you schedule them, you can schedule them 15 seconds apart, 30 seconds apart, 2 minutes apart. I wouldn't do more than 2 minutes apart because you could possibly have somebody come in and look at your feed and it will be all, shuffled. It won't look flow. It won't look even. It won't have that person. It triggers something in your mind when you can scroll up somebody's Instagram feed and it has 3 of the similar pictures. Maybe it's 3 colors that are similar. Maybe 1 rose red, 1 rose green, 1 rose blue, 1 rose white. Whatever it is, I don't know. Whatever it is that gets somebody's attention, post it in 3s. Well, that's the podcast today. Thank you for joining me here today. Hope this helps. This is something that was a game changer in my Instagram post. Let me know what your Instagram is. If you want me to check it out, I'd be happy to do that. Send me an email. Send me an email to peter@2mmstudios.com or peter@2mmacademy.com. Happy to check them out. Happy to give you feedback on that. If there's anything I can do to help your photography business, let me know. If you have a question for the show, again, we're going to be doing more frequent Q&A podcasts. I'm getting some really good questions, and I want to do every 3rd podcast or every 4th podcast as a Q&A, but I'm getting so many, I could almost do every single episode as a Q&A podcast. So go out and visit 2MM Academy. There's a form at the bottom of the page where you can submit a question for this show. Happy to help you. Thank you for joining me here today. Remember to tell somebody about it. Go out and practice your photography and start generating money.
Thank you for listening today. We would love to hear from you and would love you to engage with the community. For more tools, tips, and know-how, head over to the 2mm Academy at 2mmstudio.com and join us.